If you remember Broly from the old films, he didn't have much of a personality. Some of the fights were certainly awesome, but the only reason he wanted to destroy Goku was because Goku cried when they were both babies. Apparently, this crying traumatized baby Broly, and then all Broly could say for the rest of his life was Goku's Saiyan name, Kakarot. Even though Broly was kind of dumb, at least he looked super buff and cool, which was thanks to Akira Toriyama's only contribution to the original Broly movies. He only designed the character. Toriyama didn't write the story, so the character was never truly canon to the Dragon Ball universe. But Broly's a very popular character to the fans. Apparently, Toriyama wasn't too happy with Broly's motivation in the old films, so he completely rewrote Broly for this movie to be a sympathetic character who could relate to, and considers this the true introduction of Broly's character. And this is Broly's movie. Broly is a true Saiyan warrior. He has an innate Saiyan power from birth that suggests he's a legendary Super Saiyan from the Saiyan mythology. The first third of the movie takes place 40 years in the past, when King Cold ruled planet Vegeta. The film opens with King Cold's ships crashing down like asteroids on planet Vegeta. Basically, King Cold is tired of ruling the Saiyans, so he introduces his son Frieza, who is going to take over. King Vegeta looks suspicious of Frieza as he bows before him. Frieza introduces the Power Scouters, which are used to detect the fighting power of opponents. And then one of the coolest scenes in the movie happens. Frieza puts a scouter on, which detects the location of Saiyans hiding with snipers in the surrounding towers. Without even looking, Frieza shoots energy blasts in front and behind him at the hidden Saiyans, wiping them out. I like that not all the Saiyans could use ki, so they had weapons like lasers and used military strategies. So Frieza is already proving to be more brutal than King Cold, and whatever respect the Saiyans had earned with their loyalty to King Cold is not going to transfer to his temperamental, paranoid son Frieza. The Saiyans are a warrior race who conquer planets for Frieza, and Frieza sells the planets to the highest bidder. But Frieza has been enlisting many more aliens to do his work, and the Frieza force has grown to the point of not really needing the Saiyans anymore. King Vegeta clearly doesn't trust Frieza, so he's putting all of his effort into grooming his son, Prince Vegeta, to be strong enough to overthrow Frieza. Being a warrior race, the most important things to Saiyans is their strength. With every battle and planet the Saiyans conquer, they grow much stronger. Some Saiyans are born with abnormally high fighting power from the start. King Vegeta's son is an elite Saiyan with this high fighting power from birth. Inside the nurturing chamber, where the elite Saiyans are resting in pods, King Vegeta freaks out when he sees a lower class Saiyan like Broly in a pod next to his son Vegeta. Turns out the Power Scouters suggest Broly may be a legendary Super Saiyan, and of course King Vegeta is jealous that Broly's power is greater than his own son's. So King Vegeta sends Broly off to live in isolation on planet Vampa, a wasteland of a planet inhabited by vicious spider aliens. It's basically a death sentence. When Broly's father Paragus learns of this, he's overcome with rage and seeks revenge on King Vegeta, so he goes to planet Vampa in order to train Broly. But the spaceship crashes and they're stranded. There's a line where Paragus says you can never trust a Saiyan, as he feels betrayed by his king. This is a cool setup because a moment later, Paragus is having a conversation with his pilot, who's this weak, nerdy Saiyan who clearly doesn't care for violence. While the nerdy Saiyan is trying to figure out how to ration the food for both of them, Paragus says he knows of one way to conserve food, and then coldly kills his pilot. So Paragus is just as untrustworthy and selfish as King Vegeta, whom he hates. It is suggested that Paragus does care about Broly, but however much he cares for his son is overshadowed by how much he hates King Vegeta. So Broly basically just becomes a tool for Paragus to get revenge. Chilai and Limo rescue Broly and Paragus, and they get recruited to be part of Frieza's force. Chilai and Limo are sweet characters with a lot of compassion compared to other members of the Frieza Force. And this suggests for the first time that not everyone on the Frieza Force is evil. Frieza's empire has grown so large across the universe by this point that many of his underlings probably don't even know what they're doing, other than following orders from someone higher up in command who could destroy them. I really like Chilai. She's spunky and sweet, although I noticed the animators used the camera to really focus on her assets. But it didn't strike me as overly fan servicey because Chilai owns it. It never feels like she was just a plot device or there solely for looks. She's a strong character with fleshed out motivations. Chilai gives Broly some chocolate bars, and of course Broly, not knowing what these are, stuffs them in his mouth like a child with the wrapper still on. It was sweet to watch Chilai show Broly how to eat candy bars, and her interest and concern for how he survived on such a harsh planet. Chilai wants to wash Broly's dirty garments, but when she grabs his pelt to clean it, Broly refuses to take it off. The pelt around his waist is very important to him, and this leads to one of my favorite parts of the movie because it humanizes Broly and shows how sensitive his true nature is. On planet Vampa, we only see two species. One are giant spiders, the other are these huge green dog heads with snake-like bodies. The giant spiders suck blood from the dog snakes while they sleep, and then the dog snakes eat the giant spiders after they've plumped up. So it's sort of a weird parasite symbiotic relationship. Broly would eat the spiders, feasting on the dog snakes. But one dog snake tried to eat Broly, and Broly made a sport of dodging this monster's attacks. He named this monster Ba after the sound he made. Dodging Ba's attacks turned into a form of play for both Broly and Ba over time, and Ba became tame, to the point where they would just sit together and enjoy one another's company in peace. Paragus thought this was a distraction from training, so he shot Ba's head, severing his ear in the process. From this point on, Ba never trusted Broly again, and reverted to being a wild monster. Broly made a pelt out of Ba's severed ear, and he wears it in remembrance of the only friend he ever had, so that they could always be together. The pelt came from Ba, and the shock necklace came from Paragus to control Broly's power. The Saiyans might have used these necklaces when they captured slaves from other planets, so the fact that Broly's own father treats him like a slave is disturbing, yet Broly is loyal to his father. When Chilai tells Broly that his father is terrible for treating him this way, Broly defends Paragus by saying that people shouldn't say things that are bad about his dad. Broly has the innocence of a child, and he doesn't understand when people are trying to use his power for their own gain. The story touches on post-traumatic stress disorder, abuse, and complicated child-parent relationships. It's really interesting to see Dragon Ball touch such heavy topics like this, and I hope the series expands on these topics in the future, since they could only cover so much in a Broly movie. One of my favorite parts in the movie is, during the huge fight scene, Vegeta gets his own solo fight with Broly, which is really awesome, and he goes into Super Saiyan, God Mode, Super Saiyan Blue, and it really shows the power scaling of how quickly Broly's learning and becoming stronger as the fight goes on. And then when Broly powers up to his before Broly powers up to his Zara form, or like this, the iconic green-haired super buff Broly, Frieza has a flashback of when he killed Krillin to unlock Goku's Super Saiyan form. And Frieza asks Paragus if Broly knows how to go Super Saiyan, and Paragus has no idea. And so Frieza decides to kill Paragus, and then it's hilarious when Frieza says, "Oh, Broly, your father was killed by a stray bullet, or a stray blast." And Frieza's just a funny character in this movie. And this causes Broly to go Super Saiyan, which prompts Goku and Vegeta to have to fuse. So they teleport to Piccolo's area and have to do the fusion dance. But unfortunately for Frieza, now that Goku and Vegeta are out of the picture, Frieza's really the only one for Broly to let his rage out on. So for an hour in movie time, Broly is just destroying Frieza because the fusion attempts fail, and each fusion lasts for 30 minutes. So they failed 2 times to do the fusion correctly. But then once Vegeta and Goku do fuse correctly into Gogeta, it's just a crazy, crazy visual feast of a battle. And Gogeta lets out an extremely powered Kamehameha that's clearly intended to destroy Broly. But luckily, Broly gets rescued by the Dragon Balls and sent to another planet, or sent back to planet Vampa, thanks to Chilai, who sees Broly as an innocent man who doesn't understand what's happening. So in a sense, like, Gogeta could have killed an innocent character. So in a way, Goku and Vegeta are almost villains from the perspective of Broly. At the end of the film, Goku visits planet Vampa, where Broly is recovering. Broly's obviously paranoid after the big fight, but Goku assures him that he comes in peace and only wants to help Broly by giving him food and a capsule to live in. As Goku is about to leave, Chilai says, "Hey, wait, what's your name?" To which Goku replies, "It's Goku, but Broly, call me Kakarot." Everyone in the audience goes wild. This was a clear wink-wink to DBZ fans and a reference to the original Broly movies with baby Broly's one-word vocabulary of Kakarot. But there's also another layer to this. Goku never refers to himself by his Saiyan name, so it's kind of a way of Goku recognizing his Saiyan heritage, and also a way of wanting Broly to feel like he still has a family. So this is a really good movie. You should watch it.